Find your craft and perfect it.
What AI likes to see.
We quit offering a good, better, best, and
Yeah.
that has dramatically affected our close rates.
Anybody that thought that Tesla Cybertruck was a bad idea, let them keep thinking it. I got so much hate, and I'm going to keep doing crazier ones.
If you think you're weird, get weirder. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Roofer2Roofer show. This is episode number 69, and on today's episode, we do have some new faces to our panel today. Welcoming Brian Huff with Modern Roofing. He's going to be joining us from time to time on the panel today. So wish him a very warm welcome, and we're super happy to have him here. We do have some questions queued up, ready to go, but we do enjoy it more when you guys ask questions yourself. So any question, big or small, that you have, please pop it into the Q&A because these guys are ready to rock and roll. All right. First question. What's one thing you stopped doing that immediately improved close rates? And whoever wants to take it first, just get after it.
I'll go.
Oh, yeah.
I stopped communicating directly to the adjuster a long time ago, and that saved so much. So we provide all the data and evidence and everything to the homeowner, the policyholder, and help them with that communication. So it comes from the homeowner, the policyholder, the person who has the most legal leverage. And that usually gets the job done a lot faster than me trying to talk to the adjuster. They usually don't care what I have to say because they don't have a contract with me. So saves a lot of headache and time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you find that different adjusters bring different hosts of problems? Or are they kind of universal?
Oh yeah. If it's Bill, it's going to be a bad day. If it's Nancy, we're good. So it really does depend on the personality. If they had a good day, if they just came from another roofer who gave them a hard time, it really kind of does depend. So I tread lightly and say, hey, I'm here to help you and show you what I found, and let's get it done. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think that makes sense. So we pray for Nancy every time.
Yeah.
I love that. Awesome. What about you, gentlemen? What's one thing that you've stopped doing that immediately improved your close rate?
But I stopped aligning with anything more than one manufacturer. Um, and the big thing about that is that, offering multiple manufacturer solutions and things, and even though they're great brands and things, it does dilute the overall image of what it is that we actually say is the best, what it is that like we actually stand behind and align with as a company. And I'll tell you what, when we went all in with the manufacturer we're working with now, it really sends a stronger message, and it did actually help us generate higher close rates.
Gotcha. And so did you have to initiate that conversation with your supplier or manufacturer rather? What did that process look like?
I mean, we've had a great relationship with all the manufacturer reps that we use or used. Um, but end of the day, I mean, we opted for like a manufacturer that has strong brand awareness with or without us, obviously. They are a much bigger company than we ever will be. But on top of that, I mean, we just, our suppliers, we didn't have to have a conversation with them. Reason being, I mean, they're going to fulfill any order we send their way, but the manufacturer that we did out to work with, which is Owens Corning, if I don't know why I'm like keeping that behind like closed doors or anything like that. Like they've just been like, they offer fantastic trainings. Their local representation is fantastic. And, end of the day, like if we need anything, like they're just a phone call away. So
Yeah, I love that. What about you, Scott? What's one thing you stopped doing that improved your close rate?
I think us stopping offering multiple services, and things that we're not absolutely the best at. So, uh, you know, even things like we were good and we enjoyed building decks and replacing windows. And at one point we did all that stuff, and learning to say no and stop offering the multiple services that were just not like absolute savages at. We're really, really good at roofing. We're really good at roofing sales. We're really good at roofing installation. We were just decent at the others. So, that obviously affects your close rate. If you're not absolute pros at a service, then it's going to affect your close rate.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. So find your craft and perfect it.
Yep.
I like it. All right, y'all. Q&A's been quiet. Let's see some questions pop in there. Anything you have, it doesn't have to necessarily be related to the things that we're discussing here. It can be any question about your business, your process, something you're experiencing that you want a little insight on, anything at all. What part of the sales process do roofers overcomplicate the most?
The price, 100%.
Okay.
I think the warranties. The warranties to me are where everybody gets kind of lost in the sauce. That and financing, both of those things. And I think they overcomplicate it because they don't know it. So, they give a great sales pitch that's full of bullshit, basically. And unfortunately, they're just not real well versed in financing or the warranties. So we try, for us, we try to eliminate that by really, really training well on it. But then also in our quote templates, we have a page that just talks about financing. And it's not like all the, fine print stuff, but it's the really, really important bullet points. And then the really important bullet points on all the warranty stuff. So I don't know many sales guys that are really good at that stuff. So we try to kind of take that out of their hands a little bit.
Where in your quote page order is that financing education information? Is it before they see the price or after they see the price?
So all of our pages, the last thing they see is pricing. So that's I take that back. They see pricing, then they see your signature page with our contract. So our contract's actually like the last thing, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think that people, when they scroll through the proposals in ProLine, they get down to that, the three packages that you offer, and then they see the price, and then that's kind of all they're really hungry for. Any page after that, it can just be terms and conditions. But I think that the pricing pages, that's where they're going to kind of get satisfied with that hunt through the contract. They see all the inspection pictures, they see all of your trust factors and all that. And then when they get to the price, okay, that's what I was looking for. And then they don't really have the hunger to read further. So anything after that, we just have terms and conditions. So
Yep.
that's what I see as
Ours is the same. And I don't mean to bounce around, but actually that brings up a great point back to the last question, something that increased our close rate. We quit offering a good, better, best. And that has dramatically affected our close rate. So what we found, this is just what we found. A lot of our customers were confused with the good, better, best quote option. And as much as we love the idea of it, and I know most guys they have to have that. They think that that's like the next best thing. And we did too. But what we found is it was confusing to many homeowners, and they were seeing certain prices. Maybe they weren't looking at that entry level roof that is probably what fit their budget the best, which is still a great roof from us. We don't sell, something that we won't stand behind. So, but they're getting caught up at the bottom of the page because they scrolled too fast or whatever, and they're seeing $40,000 instead of $28,000 or what have you, and they're taken back. They skip on, and they go to the next guy. So what we did was we offer one quote, one price, it's one roof, but then we offer upgraded warranty systems. So as an add-on are the warranty systems, not, good as basic warranty, better as a next level warranty, and best as, your big 25-year workmanship warranty. We just offer a baseline roof, point blank. And then if you want, to upgrade to say the 25-year workmanship warranty, it's just an add-on price. It's not a whole nother roof price. And that's helped us a ton.
Yeah, here in this market in Denver, people, I can probably count on one hand how many times a homeowner or a property owner has said, now what about the manufacturer warranty? Because a roof isn't going to last that long here to need that type of warranty for that extended period of time. They're going to get a new roof in 10 years or so because of the weather and the climate, So it's never really come up. So I've never really had to incorporate it as an educational piece. They really just care about the problem that they have is we need a new roof or we need a repair or whatever. So we address that quote to meet those issues. And then we have the upgrades for lifetime pipe boots or gutter guards or heat tape or whatever is specific to their house. So it really feels like a personalized quote rather than just a template with numbers thrown in. So yeah, but the good, better, best is it's kind of an old way of doing it, I think. I mean, if you can have like 3 different grades of an Owens Corning shingle, but don't call it good, better, best. Call it like the Steadfast Platinum or the Steadfast Bronze or something to make it your own, you know?
I I'm still sticking to price, man, because like, end of the day, they ain't gonna care about a warranty a whole lot if I get to replace their roof again. You know what I mean? They're gonna love it.
Right.
I'm just messing. But no, I mean, people hesitate so much because like the pricing page is the page that everybody's just waiting for. Like all the others, like it's the buildup that happens before that. And then like, you guys ready for this? You guys ready for this? And then you scroll down to the price and it's just like bang, there it. But people, I mean, you really get people's true reactions once you get to that page, where you're actually showing them what the nuts and bolts of the full system is going to cost. And, you know, some people it's easier to kind of have that conversation with than others, I mean, especially if you're sitting in front of a real price conscious sort of individual. And, like warranties are fine and good, but man, don't like OC offers 3 different like paid warranties and we offer 1, maybe 2 if they have solar, because OC has a really, really great solar protect warranty that covers solar panel installs and things. Um, but beyond that, like they want like the creme de la creme warranty, they're gonna get the 25-year warranty, and that's it. Don't overcomplicate them.
And I like it. I like it. We did just have somebody new pop onto the panel here. Please welcome Robert Collins with Panther Roof.
Hey, I was watching. I didn't realize I had logged in through the wrong spot. Sorry.
No worries at all. We're super happy to have you. The
Thank you.
question that we just asked, if you're ready to hop in, would be what part of the sales process do roofers overcomplicate the most?
Um, well, I think for us, uh, we've built out a sales system, like a process, and I think it's actually easier to teach new guys who don't have as much experience to follow that system versus some of the vets in the industry who maybe especially sold more from an insurance claim aspect. Whereas I think 80% of our revenue, and we're in Central Florida, 80% of our revenue last year was retail. And, we know insurance, we've done thousands of claims, we know supplements, but I've found that it's harder for guys to pivot. And so what happens is I think they over explain the wrong things. And so it's hard to teach them a new way. It really is. But I think it's just over explaining some of that minutia with insurance and stuff, as opposed to just I think the number one thing they say is the sales representative is the first factor that has a homeowner determine. You were at the event. We heard this from Rodney Webb. Remember? You were there.
I
I
was
saw you
about
there.
to bring it up. I was just about to
Yeah.
say John was
The
there too.
Yeah, okay, yeah, the number one
What about
factor
me?
is yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I wish I would have shaken your hand. The number one thing is the sales representative. So, like, if they don't trust the sales rep in the home, they don't care if you're selling gold-plated shingles. Like, that's gotta be which is why it matters who you hire and how presentable they are. But then the second thing I believe was, like, the manufacturer and the company branding and that trust, and so building the trust on that around your pitch deck and just following that. I think guys overcomplicate it on a lot of different fronts, and it's just keep it simple and then let that process be your anchor, but then infuse your own personality. Um, and don't spend too much time on any one thing, and keep going back to the homeowner and kind of following their lead on where they want to take the conversation as far as you got to read how they're feeling in that moment and pivot from there. Anyway.
No, I loved that. And I did, as soon as you started talking about following the process, I immediately went back to that training with Rodney Webb, which Ron was there as well. And, that was one of his things, right? As soon as you kind of go beyond the script, you're back to the start there. So I thought that was great practice and definitely reinforces some of the stuff we learned during that seminar. So I love it.
Sure.
Next question. All right, y'all, we had somebody pop in to our Q&A here. So our first question from the audience, is there a lead funnel you would not suggest? Who wants it?
Kind of like a lead source, like probably telemarketing leads have gotten worse in my opinion. I used to buy those a long time ago, but I think those are a waste of time, if that's a sort of an answer to that question.
Yeah, if the person that submitted that question could maybe give us a little more context about what you're asking here. Is it that where, like, the lead source, or is it more of the process that you're asking this question around?
If it's lead source, I would vote Angie. I am still paying them, and
Dude, I warned
they're
you about
just.
that.
I mean, here's the thing, though. What I would say that you did, but there's no bad lead source until you test it. Because John, you know just as well as I do, we have a mutual friend that crushes on Angie, and you know, you have to test it. You guys down in Florida, I know, have some really, really big success with meta ads. I have zero, and I have paid, used the same people, used the same prompts, done the whole deal the same as you guys, and they're just not real effective in my market. So,
What are you seeing as bad about Angie? Like,
so for me, what I've noticed, and it's almost comical, because so the leads are really, really poor for one. For two, many of them are like way outside our service area,
yeah.
like by a lot. The funny thing though is with it, we'll like go dry for a long time, but see, they don't put in writing that they guarantee so many leads a month, but they kind of make that promise verbally. So what you'll notice is, your dashboard looks decent. Right towards the end of the month, you'll get like a dozen within like a day or two, and they're all junk leads. Like they're out, like I say, outside your service area, wrong service all to get, like, just not even worth having. But all at once, at the end of the month, we always get, this big influx compared to the rest of the month, and it's kind of just it looks like, to me, it looks like recycled garbage from other markets that they're just sending over to us just to view. I almost should just take them up on them and try to, like, actually run those leads just to see what they turn out. But they're just outside of our market, or they're services we don't offer, or whatever. They're just not leads for us. But regardless, I think any lead source could be good, but I think also any lead source could be bad. You have to test. When I ran that meta test last year, I ran $10,000 a month for 3 months just to truly run a real test. And without that, I wouldn't have known if it was good or bad or indifferent. So it didn't produce much for me at all, not $30,000 worth of leads at all. So to me, it's not something I'm going to continue to pursue. And I've got other avenues that do work. So that's my take.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And it was about lead source, like, Angie, that was exactly the right direction you went. So Angie, Meta, direct mail, whatever.
I've never had any kind of luck with any kind of like lead aggregate service. Angie's, Home Advisor, networks, like, end of the day, like, if it's not truly branded by you, and they're not reaching out to you, like, I don't really think you're going to be much of a part of that conversation and things. I think, you know, everything that we can kind of do on a marketing front in-house, whether it be, Google or meta ads or, Nextdoor or any of that stuff, it's going to carry a lot more weight whenever it's actually we as the brand, you know, publishing and posting those sorts of things. It's yeah. I'm gonna 100% recommend everybody stay away from lead aggregates.
There it is. Anybody else have anything else they want to add?
Yeah, I think it changes depending on the market, and, I keep getting hounded by Angie. "Well, we've changed the format. We don't sell it to 10 roofers anymore. You wanna give us a try?" And I just don't answer the call anymore. But I mean, we tried Thumbtack here, and it's okay. I like it because, unlike Yelp, where you have to pay to send a message to a nearby job, and you don't even know if they read it or respond, so you're investing that money regardless. Like with Thumbtack, you can send a message to an open project, and you only pay if they respond to you. So it's kind of like the opposite way of doing it. But if you're going to try one of these lead aggregates, the end goal is to be off of them, not to not need them anymore. So you have to slowly, weigh the scale with increasing your marketing, with your branding awareness, all over the place. But if you're going to do a lead aggregator like Thumbtack or Angie, you need to track everything because the cost per lead, your customer acquisition cost, you have to track all that stuff, your close rate. Because if you're doing the same amount for Angie and Thumbtack, but your close rate's worse on Thumbtack, then your CAC is going to go up for Thumbtack. So it just doesn't make sense. So you have to monitor and track everything. But like Scott said, you got to try it 100% and don't just give it a week and oh, it doesn't work. We didn't get any leads. You got to do like 6 months, I would say. Get through a 2 seasons out of the year to see what it's really like in your market. So, that's what we did. So, I would try that, but you gotta track everything there.
Totally. Good insight, Brian. So same person is asking ways to generate leads that you do suggest. So if you haven't already given one that you do suggest, if you don't mind maybe giving that a quick shout out.
I got 3 leads today from Google LSA, and I'm looking outside and say there's 10 inches of snow on the ground. So, Google LSA has been very good for us. We've always had good success. We've learned to adapt because it's gotten more difficult over the years. When it was new and not everybody was on it, it was a real game changer. We honestly, at one point, we shut everything else off because we couldn't keep up with the amount of leads we were getting from LSA, and they were really high quality leads. I would say 90% of the time. So that's big. And back then we weren't paying squat for them. I think we were paying like $19 a lead, which is nothing. Now it's like 70, which still is honestly, I if they'd send me 100 a week, I would pay for 100 a week in a heartbeat because they're still pretty daggone good. And for $70, that's still a really cheap lead. So, that's probably my favorite for like lead intake, uh, platform. Other than that, I know people say it, and all these coaches will tell you, "Oh, you can't just depend on referrals." Well, all those coaches run marketing agencies. We depend 100% on referrals, and if you're not trying to build a business that gains boatloads of referrals, you're probably not in the right business because um, that's how you get lean. That's how you stay competitive price wise. That's our bread and butter and we don't even do anything for them. We just treat people right and do what we say we're going to do. And that turns into referrals. So, the only things we do to get them are, putting our signs in the yard, wrapping our trucks, hanging some door hangers in the neighborhoods where we work, just being part of the community. So it's not like we're doing anything super aggressive with it.
I like it. I think that makes sense. Anybody else got anything else to add on that one?
This year we hired a canvasser. Um, that's been absolutely phenomenal for us so far. We're getting into a lot more grassroots marketing, doing a lot more home shows, trade shows, things like that. Getting more involved in our community. We started using bid mailers this year, for all those customers that, like behind gates or like in neighborhoods, like we left a like just another contact point to kind of get our name in front of them and show them like what a roof replacement would cost. That's all been really good stuff. And it's not really like super, super traditional means of customer acquisition and things. Right. Um,
Mhm.
but as far as like working home shows, like you really need to make an effort to make it fun. Like you need to give people a reason to come up to your booth and actually sit and have a chat with you and things. Because not everybody there is going to need a roof replacement, but a lot of people do know other people that might be in the market for a roof replacement. So, like we're trying to do giveaways at every single one of those things. And typically we'll do a drawing like toward the latter part of the year, like in November, December timeframe, where we actually do a 15,000, like a project up to $15,000. Um, but the benefit is like you get all this contact info, where, I mean, you're going to have them in your pipeline. You're going to be able to keep in front of them, even if they're not super duper interested in like getting a roof replaced right then and there. Um, and a lot of people that actually do put their info in, like they are going to have some level of interest and they are going to need that service at some point in the next, like, maybe a couple of months, maybe a couple of years. But regardless, I mean, get them in your pipeline and like watch your funnel grow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I th- um I depending on what the anonymous person who asked the question where they're at in their business, I think I think there's got to be some intentionality about your branding, because like if you're investing, I think all these guys have great brands and they've built their brands strong. And so anything that they like pump money into, I think they'll get theoretically should get a pretty good ROI. I know Scott had a horrible experience with Angie, but a junk lead is a junk lead. I get that. But I think let's say the person who asked the question is a little bit smaller and they don't have the budget to maybe put as much into ads and things like that, then obviously canvassing, personal letters, local networking with real estate agents, things like that is a good way to just put your name out there. And then if they've got some budget to put into advertising, looking at meta ads, Google LSA, and putting a little more money into that should get them a positive ROI. And then I am we've had a pretty decent ROI on Thumbtack. It's propped us up a little bit when maybe some of our other lead sources were a little slower. We'll get a and we actually had a positive ROI with that one last year in our market. I but that lead source needs the most attention as far as getting the appointment set. But and then once you get a wave of jobs from some of those efforts, then having a very good referral process to get more jobs out of the jobs you already sold. That's really the most important thing. Do good work and treat the customers well and get more business out of it.
Absolutely. I like it. All right, y'all. What breaks first when a roofing company grows too fast? Don't all jump at once.
I just went through this little over a year ago, but communication, that was the first thing to kind of go. Like we were setting appointments like quicker than we could actually get to them. We scheduled production for, we had way too many jobs going on at a time. And it kind of helped me realize like where the cracks were in our business. And I was able to kind of, you know, fill the voids that, all this excess business had kind of brought on and made apparent to me. Um, but really, I mean, if it happens again, guess what? I mean, we're ready for it. Um, I'm not looking forward to it, but we're a lot more poised to be able to handle that again than what we were in the past. But communication, your production pipeline, just keeping people informed and communicating throughout all steps of the process is so key. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. Like if they don't know what is going on, they're not going to have a pleasant 5-star experience that you're trying to deliver. So
Yeah. Sounds like growing pains are probably inevitable in some capacity, but if you can stay ahead of them, learn from them, and adapt, perhaps it makes your journey a bit easier, all in all. So I like it. What about you guys? Anything else? What breaks first when roofing companies scale too quickly?
Yeah, I would say that constraint theory is tested really quickly when you get dumped on, and so your output has to equal your input.
Mm.
So that's a good point, John. The communication has to be there. Like over communication is paramount, but keeping that simple as well. We have the chat channels in ProLine that we can add, a production channel or a sales channel or an admin channel and kind of keep all that stuff focused like you would if you had like a Slack channel or something. So keeping that stuff organized and everybody in their lane is really important. So I agree.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome. If you guys have any more questions, please pop them into the Q&A here. Again, it doesn't have to be about what we're discussing now. It can be any problem that you're facing in your business, a question that you might want to ask somebody who could have been in the same position, or really anything at all. We're wide open in the Q&A section, so ask away. All right, this is a fun one, and I think I've asked this to John before, so I'll be curious to get your take. If regulations change tomorrow, who would survive?
What kind of regulations?
I guess just like maybe specific to getting licensing, or actually I think to make this question a bit more fun, let's take regulations out. If just future pacing, what qualities do you feel like are present in roofing companies that will survive? So what qualities does it take to survive? We'll go that route.
Hmm.
Gentlemen,
Florida.
you asked me this one.
Well, f uh, I have to speak in context of Florida with insurance versus retail, and the way, you know, certain insurance companies are even invoking arbitration. It's the market's changed with that. There's a mentality shift for me. Maybe some guys haven't shifted as quickly. I have, and this is coming from a guy who that was my bread and butter for so many years, and in the last 2, 3 years, it's just shifted completely, and I think yeah, I think, just keep your head down, keep providing good customer service, good roof installs. If you're talking as far as the insurance regulations, but any other regulations, I don't know. We can chop it up about anything else if somebody's got another angle of attack on this, but, that's that's something that I keep thinking about often even lately because I'm seeing our retail process really work well. And I think about what would have me 5 years ago said about this? I would have been like, "No," and, so
Yeah, it makes sense. What about you, Brian? What qualities are you seeing in roofing companies that you feel like will keep them in business, keep them in the game in the long term?
I think just sticking to the basics, having a process for everything, but a simplified process that you can plug and play anyone from the company. Like if you had to beef up, inspectors and you had to pull people out of the office to go do that or something, I'm just trying to think like extremes, but I think pushing financing first before even the total dollar amount. I mean, you go to a car lot, you see the monthly payment, you don't see the total cost of the truck or whatever. So and the other thing is like we live in a subscription based business or lifestyle now. Like everything is a subscription based. You get food in a box, you get movies in a box, it's everything is subscription based. So what I'm trying to do is shift to a subscription based roofing business. So where we come back every year and do an inspection and take photos and document everything. We'll clean the gutters out, we'll caulk the pipe jacks and it's free the first year and then 195 each year after that. So it's like it's a transaction. It's not a free inspection. It is a professional inspection where the homeowner has documentation for the condition of the roof. So if they file a claim, the adjuster can't come and say, "Oh, that's old damage." It's like, okay, well, since the last time we had an inspection, this happened. So tying all that stuff together, you have to kind of think about the insurance game that we're running into now, Robert, where what you're talking about, where all that's changing. So now it's like all the commercials on the, like a good neighbor and you're in good hands and all that stuff. They want you to call them first. Like, oh, I'm your neighbor. I'm your agent. Give me a call before you talk to any roofers. And then they discourage you from filing a claim. That is the wrong thing to do because they're just controlling the whole situation. You're not actually getting what you're paying for. So when you talk to a construction professional that knows how your home is built and how your roof is built, they can tell you more about what needs to happen to fix your roof rather than an adjuster or somebody that's just going crazy 10 inspections a day and trying to kick out and estimates. And it's crazy. I've seen it where adjusters are doing like 60 inspections a week and I'm just like,
Mhm.
oh my God, how can you even track anything? And, and they're using a little, uh, you know, digital camera. They're not even using their phone. So they're just like, now you got to extract them off their camera. It's just a very, it's caveman times from where it used to be to me. So, I mean, there's a lot stacked onto that, but I think just keeping it simple, having a process for everything. John's in the RSRA with me, and there's intensive training in there on how to do all this stuff. There's acronyms, there's all kinds of ways to simplify each process of, from getting the call to asking for the review and everything in between. So it's a lot.
Sweet. No, I like it. We got another question popping in here, and I think I know the answer to this one, but I'll let you guys answer it either way. What communication platform do you use internally?
We don't use ProLine. Um, I want to use ProLine for that, but right now it's not quite where I want it to be. Um, take that all the way to the bank alley.
I wrote that
Um,
down.
we do use Google Chat. It's part of the G Suite. It's really, really nice. We can flip back and forth between like any of the other apps on our phone. We can access it right from Gmail. There's just a little tab or a little button down at the very bottom. And we have separate channels built in there for that. It's not perfect. It's not ideal. I definitely want to see the iteration that's built into ProLine kind of grow. Um, but, you know, as it stands, we use Google Chat.
Sweet.
How about you guys?
I try.
Oh, did I say
I
what you were thinking?
mhm. I tried to use. I tried to integrate Slack. I used to use Slack um, with another team I was a part of a few years ago. In between my roofing, uh, long story, but I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna integrate this with my company." I could not get adoption. It was ridiculous. It was like and now finally I gave up. The quickest response I get is just having text threads. We all have iPhones, and we have a production thread, a sales thread, and a team thread, and I've beta tested the chat feature in ProLine, and, like, I would send out messages to see how long somebody would respond, and peop as of right now, text threads for us are the quickest, but we're small enough that it still works. We got bigger, though, and added more people, I would see how we would wanna have a little bit more robust communication platform. So I'm kind of with John, I'd like to use ProLines. I'd love to use it. It's probably about time to give it another go, see if I can get adoption. So
Take notes,
Beta
ProLine
mode.
dev team.
What's that, Brian?
I was gonna say it's not in beta mode anymore, is it? Because I'm checking on the dashboard and it just says chat. It doesn't say chat parentheses beta anymore.
Mm.
Okay. And you use it, right?
Yeah. I've used Slack, I've used, iMessage
What?
just because it goes through. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
using the ProLine chat, you have to obviously use it through ProLine in the app. And sometimes, ProLine is a data heavy, you need 3 bars at minimum just to get stuff to load. So if you're in an area, especially me in the mountains where I'll take all my pictures in company cam, but nothing will upload until I get back into town and down the mountain. So it's not all the time, but it just those little speed bumps, but if communication is really paramount, I would, like you guys are saying, a chat on the phone, or a text message thrown on your phone, or Slack or something that's a lot more robust and capable.
Yeah, I like that. We did, I think the same person is asking a follow-up question. So they want to know outside of ProLine, what is your tech stack looking like?
We're okay. ProLine, Company Cam. I use Visme from my pitch deck, and and then you have a couple other like interactive hail maps, for hail maps, that kind of thing. But that's pretty much our main tech stack.
Anything else, guys? Anything we're missing here?
So I mean, I've answered this one before, but mine's very, very light. Um, I use Company Cam, like in addition to ProLine, Company Cam. I do use Roofer for their measurements. Um, and I use a software through a company by the name of RealWork Labs that basically just drops digital yard signs on every project that we do, all across the map. So, and that's
It's
it.
your website, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool.
updates frequently, which is what AI likes to see.
Yeah. We're basically the same. We have Company Cam. We use um, predictive sales AI, which used to be part of like the GAF Weather Hub reporting. So I do that for like a 3-year storm report for a property if it's really required. Kind of helps with the data, the evidence package. Let's see. GAF Quick Measure. I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind of
we use that as well.
yeah. All the integrations in ProLine we pretty much use except for like Angie, and um, don't use EagleView that much anymore just because they're got really expensive, and a report in under an hour from GAF was way more affordable and faster, and it just pumps right into the quote. So, um, but yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, Built 360 for postcard mailers and stuff like that, because that's a automation. When a job is scheduled, it will send those uh, four four rounds of postcards to the neighbors. Just brand awareness. We don't really expect a whole lot from it, and it hasn't really produced a whole lot of leads. We're in the process of changing the copy on that, so there's more of a call to action and more of a value to the card other than just, hey, we're in your neighborhood. It's going to have an actual coupon on the card that you must present. So it's like, you better hold on to that because you're going to get, $500 off a full gutter replacement. And that this is the only place that coupon lives. It's not like on Instagram or on our website. Like that's the only place you can use that. So, um, just kind of little stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically what we have. It's pretty comparable. Just go through the integrations tab in ProLine and we pretty much have everything dialed in.
All right, guys, we have time for one more question if somebody's going to pop something into the Q&A. Otherwise, I'll just give our panelists a second. Is there anything you guys are facing currently in your business that maybe you want to ask the other panelists about, or any feedback from today's episode that you found particularly insightful?
Hmm.
John, are you getting any feedback from the alligator trucks and the spaceship possession decals?
Great question.
Dude, I got so much hate online whenever I posted the Cybertruck, and it's so funny because like that is the vehicle that we get calls off of the absolute most. And I don't want people to like look at that and be like, oh wow, that's a really clean looking, I want it to be interesting and like memorable, and I want people to like talk about it. And like I swear it has done everything and more than what I was thinking it was going to. So like trying to mimic like either whoever's going to be driving that vehicle's like personality, like the guy that's in the alligator van. I don't know if I have the ability to kind of show you guys what that looks like or not, but the guy that drives the alligator van, like he literally looks like Florida man whenever he steps out, and like it just matches his like look, his person, and it's amazing. And like we get so many people like blowing the horn at like blowing the horn for good reasons. But it they do get a lot of really, really good attention. And like I think like having the same old truck route across your entire fleet is, I think people are really giving up a real big um source of like creating a bit of a buzz locally, you know? Like I have a UFO beaming up an alligator on the side of my Lightning. And like I don't know where I come up with some of this stuff, but like it gets people talking. Like I have like I don't know if people know a lot about Florida or anything like that, but I have like a skunk ape like hidden behind a tree. I have an alien hidden behind a tree. I have the men in black hiding in the woods, or like government agents or whatever. I have like our logo on the underside of the alien ship. Like I have so many like hidden little things where if people like come up and like really look at it in a parking lot or at a car show, or like just walking their dog in the neighborhood, they're going to be like, wow, that is really thoughtful. And I think it can kind of pour over into the work that we do though too. Like if we're going to take that much time to kind of be that creative with our vehicle reps, how much time are we really going to put into putting on a good quality roof for them if they hire us, right? But get crazy, man. Anybody that thought that Tesla Cybertruck was a bad idea, let them keep thinking it. And I'm going to keep doing crazier ones every single iteration.
You heard the man. If you think you're weird, get weirder. I love that. Awesome. All right, y'all. We didn't have another question pop through. So, with that being said, I'm down to end it for today. Thank you guys so much for popping on. This was a great first episode, Brian and Robert. John, you crushed as always. But yeah, super happy to have you guys on. I'll be excited to have you next Monday. And we'll be here at 4:30 doing it all again.
See you, everybody.
All right.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
See ya.